Holy smokes, it's really raining today. There's no way, by the looks of it anyways, it's going to stop. Almost virtually every app is warning you too about the hazardous rain conditions. With that in mind, what did I read today? I guess here in Canada, there's going to be some places that are going to have regular first responder drones. This one says, new drone program offers first responders a first look at emergencies. As it says here, a local drone technology company is helping put eyes in the sky before emergency responders get boots on the ground. Airmarket, a company working on Canada's first drone air traffic control system, has teamed up with the Strathcona County Emergency Services on a new long-range drone for first response. SCES has had a drone program since 2017 where those drones are piloted within a line of sight from the scene. The new one will launch automatically and respond to calls for service around Sherwood Park. That's been a consistent theme in the news recently too, people wanting to use automated drones in this way. This is a whole new change for us, said Kelly Lur, SCES Deputy Chief of Operations. We could be kilometers away from the actual event. Moore said the drone will launch within 10 seconds of a call and can travel up to 10 kilometers. When it arrives, it will feed live video back to the station where a drone pilot will take over. So that's kind of interesting in that regards. It says you can set up areas of exclusion where you don't want to fly over, like high obstacles or schoolyards, explained Airmarket founder and CEO Lindsay Moore. The drone will avoid those obstacles and automatically fly there and then give the fire department and emergency responders eyes on. In terms of when this will actually take place, according to this anyways, it'll start during the summer and will be fully operational during the fall, so that's coming up really quick. I'm not surprised anyways in terms of more places trying to adopt stuff like this in general. The question is, I suppose, is whether or not it'll restrict the airspace more for, let's just say, a recreational flyer as well. And at the same time, is there that contrast still, which doesn't make sense, where they say, okay, it's perfectly safe for you to fly over all these people and so forth, but not just for anyone else, even though if they're using, let's just say, a toy drone and all that. And still with that topic of drones, this has been in the news a lot, it sounds like, in the US, where people are trying to create bills that enable authority figures, for example, to actually take down drones. How about this one when it comes to sporting events? This one says, NFL, MLB, NCAA, NASCAR back drone crackdown bill. So all these organizations, I guess, are in favor of being able to disable drones around large sporting events. And it says the bill was introduced Thursday by Senator Tom Cotton and Jackie Rosen, and it's called the Disabling Enemy Flight Entry and Neutralizing Suspect Equipment Act. Man, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Stadiums or venues seating 30,000 or more people are subject to a temporary flight restriction which secures the airspace 3 nautical miles around the stadium and 3,000 feet above it. That restriction goes into effect 1 hour before the start and lasts 1 hour after the end of every MLB, NFL, and NCAA Division football game, as well as every NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar, and Champ Series race. Flying drones into that area while the restriction is in place is already a violation of federal law. However, only on-site federal law enforcement officials currently have the authority and equipment necessary to disable drones, and those officials usually only have a presence at major events such as the World Series, Super Bowl, and college football playoff. The proposed bill would give state and local law enforcement members the authority, training, and equipment necessary to disable drones if deputized when federal authorities are not on site, which is typically the case at events of lesser magnitude like regular season games. Yeah, it makes me wonder how come there's so much news about this and various places wanting to pass these type of bills anyways. I mean, in my opinion, again, it just comes down to what you're using and how. I find it silly personally, where let's just say there is a drone flying right in the stadium. If you're telling me, okay, I can't grab it out of the sky because it's a quote aircraft, like that's a little silly in that case, huh? But then at the same time, you need to change it, in my opinion, in terms of classification, because it doesn't make sense too with how wide this radius is. If there's some kid flying a toy drone in their backyard, literally, that has really no relevance to that actual sporting event, like it's so far away, that makes no sense in terms of classifying that person as, let's just say, I don't know, a terrorist or something like that, and where they'll go and confiscate the drone. So there has to be the balance there. And this was kind of weird. I thought there was so much video and news spreading online about US passports recently and how people are being labeled as their birth sex, for example. So if you were born a female, then you'll be listed as a female, a male, a male. So in my opinion, it's like, okay, what's wrong with that? But apparently there was this story recently in how there was an actor in the series Euphoria, and the person is transgender, where the person was male and I suppose transitioned to a female. And because of this new law in the US where your passport has to actually reflect your actual sex upon birth, this person originally wrote themselves down as, I guess, a female in their US passport, but now the person was forced to list themselves as a male. So because of that, the person went online to express their displeasure about it. So you can first see, I guess, what the person said here.
I filled everything out just like I normally would. I put female, and when it was picked up today and I opened it up, they had changed the marker to male. Like, I want to acknowledge my privilege, like not only as a like famous or like celebrity trans woman who is white and thin and can adhere to like contemporary beauty standards, and I can participate in all of that. I'm never gonna stop being trans. A letter and a passport can't change that in this administration. And I don't really have an answer on what to do about this, but I feel it was important to share.
And apparently this is a thing too, as I was watching another video where a person freaked out in front of the camera per se, because again, they had to change the person's sex to what they were classified as when they were born.
In case y'all want proof, there's my picture, very cunty. And yeah, there's that big ugly M.
And hearing the person's comment here on why it doesn't make sense in their mind, for example, they say they look like a female, for example, or they get treated like one by everyone else, so there should be no big deal identifying the person as, let's just say, a female. But overall, that's not how we do things in life in general. For example, I can't just say, if there was an ID labeling me as East Asian, I can't just magically say, okay, well, I'll paint my face, for example, to like a Cajun person or a black person. Now I'm magically that ethnicity, for example, and I want that on my ID. I don't think that works, right? Or at the same time, it reminds me of that other story recently, if you guys remember, I talked about, where there was that artist that identified as having indigenous roots, but then it turned out potentially she lied about it, for example. Like there, if that's true, you can say all you want, like whatever your background is. If it's not actually true, it shouldn't be on like a permanent record saying that's the case, I would think anyways. Again, it comes down to consistency. What the heck? The rain is actually stopping here. That's crazy. Alright, see you guys later.